What is up, everyone? I am Pirate Pyrat here, back for another Marvel Rivals video. I say another like I've done before. This is my first Marvel Rivals video, guys. Today I'm going to be creating a little bit of a tier list of the team-ups that are in Marvel Rivals. Really cool about these team-ups, they come from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the Marvel Comic Universe, just some all-around synergies that you'll find in the game, specific to heroes actually. What's really cool about these as well is that they can make your character more powerful in certain ways with some of them. That's why I'm going to be doing a tier list. This tier list is specifically catered to bronze, silver, up to gold. Get yourself out of that gold, get yourself into platinum. Even if you just want to get yourself into gold to get that exclusive Moon Knight skin before Season 0 ends, that's kind of what this is going to be for you guys today. Gonna look at what's the most powerful, what's the least powerful, that in between as well, and kind of just explain them too if you don't know any of these. So yeah, let's get into it. So first up we have Guardian Revival. Guardian Revival, the catalyst is Adam Warlock. It pairs with Mantis and Star-Lord from the Guardians of the Galaxy universe. What this one does is if you die as Mantis or you die as Star-Lord, you get that cocoon that Adam Warlock has to give yourself a revival. It does have a bit of a long cooldown on it, but I honestly think this is really powerful, especially as a Star-Lord. You're kind of zipping around the map here and there, you're getting those backline kills. You might get killed, get yourself kind of back into the middle of the fight by your healers, revive yourself. Mantis especially too, she is one of the most powerful healers in the game right now, especially with her ultimate, so making sure that you have her. Also paired with that Adam Warlock, double healer combo there. In my opinion though, this is probably one of the most powerful in the game right now. Even in the higher ranks, you still see people using this one, so that is an automatic S tier for me. Next up, you have Chilling Charisma. This is with Luna as the catalyst, and it goes into Jeff and Namor, however you want to pronounce it. Basically, as Jeff, you get a projectile that slows down enemies a little bit, but with Namor, you get an extra octopus turret, and it does a little bit more damage. All around, I think it is good. The Jeff, though, could be a little bit more powerful for Jeff. Maybe a bit of an extra slow. Maybe if you hit a couple shots, it freezes them, like Luna's ability does as well. I don't think it's the most powerful right now. We'll have to, obviously see. But giving Namor that extra free turret is really good. Wouldn't say it's the best in the game. Wouldn't say it's the least powerful. But if you have a really good Namor on your team, go Luna Snow, or you are a good Namor, ask your Luna Snow to go for you. I'm going to put that one up in the A tier just for that extra turret on Namor. Next up on the list, we have Allied Agents. This is Hawkeye as your catalyst and Black Widow as your receiver on this one. Basically what this one does is if you are Black Widow and the Hawkeye uses the ultimate, you also get to see those after images that Hawkeye sees. We know that Hawkeye is one of the better DPS in the game right now, duelists, whatever you want to call them. I still call them DPS. But basically with this one, guys, if you have a Black Widow on your team, you can have Black Widow basically get those after images. It only works with the ultimate though, with Black Widow not being a one-shot character in the game. I don't think this is the best. You don't really want two snipers on a team anyways right now with the meta that we have going on. I'm going to put this one in the C tier because it's not the worst in the game. If you have two really good snipers, maybe that'll help out. But in the lower ranks, you don't want to be running that dual sniper combo, especially with how dive heavy I've found it so far. But yeah, it still is decent, not the worst though. Next up, guys, we have Atlas Bond. This is between Iron Fist and Luna Snow, Iron Fist being the catalyst in this case. Basically what this does is it sends out a wave of a chilling blast, healing enemies, healing your allies and slowing down your enemies. I think with Luna Snow being, again, another S tier healer, A tier maybe in higher ranks as my opinion, this isn't really needed. She does a lot of healing to begin with. That slow doesn't really do much. It has a very small reach to it. It's not the best, it's not the worst. I am going to put this one in the B tier though, because sometimes in that lower rank, just a little bit more CC is going to help you. For those of you who don't know, CC stands for crowd control, that being anything that can freeze, slow, knock up, the exile with Hulk, any of those kind of abilities. Really powerful in the lower ranks. Gets your DPS to kind of focus them a little bit more, especially if you're using callouts. But yeah, B tier for that one. Nothing really special to it. Next up, we have ESU alumni. This is between Spider-Man and Squirrel Girl. Spider-Man being the catalyst for Squirrel Girl. Basically, Squirrel Girl can launch an acorn and it stuns enemies to the ground with a sticky web. Again, CC, very powerful in the lower ranks. I don't find myself seeing a lot of Squirrel Girls being, Hela, Hawkeye again, not being banned. Those are very much so prominently played. And a lot of the lower tier Spider-Man aren't the best, to say the least. I mean, hey, could, be a GM stuck in silver, just getting some really bad luck, and they are doing good. But again, that CC is very powerful with this kind of ability. Wouldn't say it's the best, though. I am going to put it up in the B tier with Atlas Bond. That CC is a very short duration of a CC, especially if you get someone in the front line. Healer can be pocketing them and all that stuff with a lot of this stuck in CC. Not the best, not the worst. Still going to give it a bit of a higher ranking, though. My favorite one, the Fastball Special. This is between Hulk and Wolverine. I think the Hulk is the catalyst in this one. Basically what it does, though, is it allows Hulk to pick up Wolverine. You'll see him kind of squatting down a little ball in your hand as Hulk. Hulk can charge it up, throw the fastball, as we like to call it, Fastball Special. Throws Wolverine, though. I really think this is a powerful one, though, guys. I'm gonna put it up here in the A tier for lower ranks. You see a lot of Hulks. Wolverine is a tank slasher. It gives Wolverine a free dash. When you throw Wolverine, he does the same dash that his ability does, where he sticks his claws into the enemies and can drag them away. So if you can push a frontline tank or even a squishy healer more into the back line, use your dash again, get them more in the back line. They're pretty much out of the battle. That's a free kill for your Wolverine, and can do a lot of damage to the enemy's team comp. Get your Wolverine to go back in there. It does make him vulnerable, though, being in the backline away from his team and heals, so that's why I wouldn't put it directly up in S tier. But again, very, very powerful. Next up, we have Ragnarok Rebirth. This is Hela as your catalyst, and it goes for Loki and Thor. Makes sense. So what this one does is if you die as Loki or Thor, and that respawn timer hasn't reached 0 yet, and Hela gets a kill anywhere on the map, anywhere in that time, you respawn where you died as Loki or Thor. Again, Loki and Thor. Thor, you're kind of playing a little bit forward, rushing yourself a little bit back. Loki is going to be more that kind of midline to backline healer, especially with his clones. I honestly think, though, guys, at a lower rank where you are needing to be on that point as much as possible, I am going to give this one an S tier for lower ranks especially. You have a lot of other, Thor is a dual wielding team-up guy. We'll talk about that a little bit later here, but I think this is probably, in the lower ranks, one of the more powerful, especially getting that free respawn just for dying. Especially as a Thor, if you're running in, running out, getting focused, but you have a good Hela on your team. Hela can secure kills very easily, let's be honest, guys. She's banned a lot in the higher ranks. This is probably one of the better ones to run with. If you have a 3-team comp too, you don't need Thor and Loki, you just need to make sure you have that Hela, so either of the two works out perfectly for them. Next up, we have Metallic Chaos. This is between Scarlet Witch and her dad Magneto in the comics, if you know that lore. What this does is it gives Magneto an extra melee projectile ability, where he gets a giant metallic sword, swings it around, extra long reach. It does have a bit of a delay from clicking to actually hitting. That's why I call it a projectile melee, kind of like his shards that he throws out. This one, though, a lot of damage can be done. One thing I see in the lower ranks is people are using this super aggressively, where they're kind of running into the front lines like a DPS, but Magneto doesn't have that same mobility that a lot of duelists do. So I see a lot of people die with this. Scarlet Witch as well can be very powerful in the lower ranks, but doesn't output a lot of damage if you don't know how to use her right, or until you get your ultimate. That's her kind of, the Chaos Orb. That's a lot of the kills that she gets, I find, in lower ranks. For that reason, I will put it in the A tier just for that extra damage it does on Magneto, and if you use it properly. I find it's really good if a team is rushing into you and you kind of have a DPS or a healer that are out of pocket. You can do 1, 2, 3, I think, swings to kill a squishy character, or even with a shielding character. It won't go through the shield, but you can do a lot of damage on that shield if your DPS is attacking at it too. For that reason, not going to get S, but is still powerful enough for it to be an A tier. Next, we have Voltaic Union. This is Thor as your catalyst. As I said, one of the many characters that has two. This goes for Captain America and Storm as their receivers. With Storm, it gives her a little... does only 40 damage. I don't think it's the best on Storm, but with Captain America, you get to throw out lightning bolts as well as Captain America with his shield, charging up that 0 to 4, so you get some extra shield throws as well with him. For that reason, it's not an S tier, but I will again put this one in the A tier. I find that Thor and Cap are a very powerful dive combo in the lower ranks, especially if you have a Cap that knows what he's doing. He's very much so able to get in and out of battles quickly. I find as well, if you save that dashing strike when you're sprinting with Captain America for a retreat rather than an initiate, or even his F ability, the Shield Bash, because that only does 30 damage on its own, both of those abilities, you're getting in and out of battles very quickly. And with Thor using his, I think it's F by default ability, where he's throwing the lightning bolts, I can't think of the name of it right now, I'll edit it, pop it up on the screen for you guys. When both of you and Cap are using those abilities together, you're doing a lot of damage, you're shredding a lot of health, getting supports to use their abilities up, and your DPS can come in and finish it, or you can yourself as well. For that reason, it's going to get powerful. But with Storm just not being played a lot right now, and not doing a lot of damage on Storm, I can't put it up in that S tier. But again, very, very powerful for lower ranks grinding out. Next, we have Planet X Pals. This is Groot as your catalyst, receiving to Jeff the Landshark and Rocket Raccoon. What it does is it allows Jeff or Rocket, one of them, can't be both at the same time. I know, I wish I could, have two parrots on my shoulder. But it allows those smaller creatures to ride Groot's shoulder, giving them a bit of less damage vulnerability. I can't think of it specifically right now. Again, I'll edit it in for you guys to say what it actually is. Groot gets some extra health as well with the season bonus right now. I don't think this is the best. Yes, you're guaranteeing as Rocket to have those healing orbs automatically land on Groot. You're having Jeff as well with his bubbles, getting that automatically onto Groot if he's low health. Again though, Rocket is a very backline heavy healer. I honestly don't think with his DPS he should be anywhere in that midline unless you're running away. With his dashing ability too, you're very quick, very small to hit. Jeff the Landshark has probably the biggest head hitbox in the game though. If you're playing against a Hawkeye, playing against a Hela, that damage reduction, that's the word I'm looking for. Damage reduction isn't going to be doing a lot, unfortunately. So for that reason, I think this is probably down there with allied agents. Don't really like putting things in D tier unless they're not absolutely doing anything. Again, having that automatic heal on the Groot, I think is powerful enough, but the way you should be playing healers right now in this lower ranked meta, not the best, unfortunately, guys. Next up, you have Symbiote Bond. This is going to be Venom as your catalyst, receiving to Spider-Man and Penny Parker. What it does is it lashes out a bunch of symbiote from Penny or Spider-Man, doing a little bit of damage. Penny Parker, very obviously defense-heavy class. Put down her spider turret, put down her mines. You're kind of playing the point a little bit harder, getting a lot of chip damage in. Spider-Man is a flanker. This is pretty powerful. I wouldn't say it's the most powerful. We're going to put it in B tier though, because it can do a lot of that finishing damage if you're reloading a Spider-Man or out of his webs. Penny Parker having unlimited ammo doesn't really do much for her, especially if people are rushing you. You can still get killed in this state. For that reason, I'm not going to put it in the top tier. I don't see a lot of Venom play, and if it is a Venom, they're kind of playing like a flank, which I don't like seeing. A tank should be a tank in my opinion, especially at that lower rank. For that reason, I'm going to put it pretty low. Next up, we do have our Gamma Charge. If you watch any of the higher ranked top 500 plays, you're going to see a lot of Hulk bans, especially for this reason. Iron Man with this ability, very, very powerful. It can do a lot of damage output. Doctor Strange as well. It prevents him from having that anti-heal when you are at 100 of your... Can't think of it right now, but when you're doing damage, your little bar below your crosshair goes up to 100, preventing healing. This prevents the preventing, so double negative there. But you do extra damage as well when you press that ability to explode your gamma radiation. Hulk right now too, very strong as well. with that Doctor Strange combo and Iron Man. I see a lot of people running specifically Guardian Revival and Gamma Charge if the Hawkeye Hela is banned. For that reason, this is an automatic S tier. Get yourself a duo Q, Hulk and Iron Man. Get Iron Man to get those kills, stay on point, don't play like a flanker like a lot of Sea of people do, but do that extra damage. You're wiping out teams left, right, and center, guys, let me tell you. This is a super, super powerful ability. Honestly, not just in the low ranks, but anywhere across the board, in my opinion. Next up, we have Ammo Overload. This is with Rocket Raccoon as your catalyst, receiving to Punisher and the Winter Soldier. It gives Rocket an extra radiation ring gadget, whatever you want to call it. If Punisher or Winter Soldier are standing in that, they have unlimited ammo. Winter Soldier only has 3 shots to his pistol right now, and Punisher has a bit of a bigger magazine and that shotgun. I think this is really powerful with Punisher. Punisher is kind of that not in the middle of battle, not in the back line of battle, but that mid-ground, you know, gets on his turret a lot. The thing is with the turret, though, you're doing that a lot of the time to hold a point. He is going to be using that gun afterwards with this ability. Bucky, you're kind of playing that in and out game, so you're not going to be using this as much. For that reason, we're going to put it in the B tier because it is still pretty useful, but it's not super overpowered in my opinion, like the ones we have up in S tier. It is very viable if you have a Rocket and a Punisher in the game. Bucky, though, I don't see him using it as much. Even watching videos of higher tiers and you see a Punisher and a Rocket, it is mainly used between those 2 characters. So that's why I'm giving it a B tier here. Next up, we have Dimensional Shortcut. This is between Magik as your initiator, and it goes for Psylocke and Black Panther. A lot of flanking characters I've noticed in that 3, so I don't like this at a lower tier because I find flankers don't know how to get back onto point when your team needs it. Although this is a very powerful ability in and of itself, basically what it does is it gives Magik's power of the portals to Psylocke and Black Panther. They can press the button to recall themselves back a couple seconds, restoring the health that they might have lost. Think of it like the Tracer recall from Overwatch. I hate comparing the 2 games because these aren't 2 separate entities that are doing different things in and of itself, but easiest way to explain it for people. Think of it as that Tracer recall, getting yourself a little bit back in time. Again, in the lower ranks, I don't think this is very viable because you're only really needing 1 flanker and 1 main DPS to kind of help out your frontline backline a bit. Again, though, that recall is pretty powerful. I will give it a B for that reason. Getting yourself a little bit of health back. If you do have a good Black Panther Magik combo that know what they're doing, this can help you guys out a little bit more. Psylocke as well, very powerful flanker, as we all know. If you watch SK videos, dude, they can kill it as Psylocke, let me tell you. But having that dimensional drift to get yourself some health back, very, very powerful in that lower rank, but not very viable with the double flanker, I find. And last but not least, we have Lunar Force. This is between Moon Knight and Cloak and Dagger. Cloak and Dagger being your catalyst, it gives Moon Knight that short ability to become invisible and invulnerable, kind of like when your cloak is Cloak and Dagger and you use your right click ability to sweep everyone around you to give them that invincibility. That is exactly what Moon Knight can do to himself. Now, Moon Knight is kind of that backline, midline, throws out the yonk, get a bunch of shots in before someone eventually, hopefully, kills your onk, which I find in lower ranks not as much. But I personally don't find this the best though, because Cloak and Dagger can already do that herself. If you have good comms, you can be doing it. For that reason, I'm gonna put it down here with the Planet X pals and everything, just because I don't see it used how it should in that lower rank when you already have Cloak and Dagger that has that ability in and of itself, and not just for Moon Knight, but the whole team around them. Ultimate is coming your way, you got a Pulse, you got a Scarlet Witch bomb, something coming your way that does a lot of damage, Magneto, Thor, whatever. Turn yourself into Dagger, sorry, not Cloak. Use your ability to make everyone around you invulnerable, blind the enemies while you're at it too, get yourself back into healing mode super quick. I just don't see this one being as powerful as any of the other ones we have on this list, but could be used, you know, don't see it in higher ranks as much, especially Moon Knight not played that much. So that is going to be my tier list for today, everyone. Obviously, those S tier ones, try them out as combos. I find the 2 that work the best together are definitely Gamma Charge and Guardian Revival. Get yourself 2 healers and a DPS for that one. Gamma Charge, you're getting yourself a DPS and 2 tanks. That's your 2-2-2 combo right there. Super duper powerful. The other one that I find can work a lot is that Ragnarok Rebirth and the Gamma Charge. You're just going to need to have another healer that isn't going to get anything out of it. Get yourself a Luna Snow, get yourself a Mantis, whatever it might be. But those 3 right there are super duper powerful. So yeah, thank you guys for watching today. If you have any comments, if you have any constructive criticism, please feel free to leave it down below. Make sure you like and subscribe. I'm going to be doing a lot more Marvel Rivals content coming up here in the future, showing you guys how I deranked into silver again and solo queuing to get myself out of it. Gonna have a lot of kind of funny commentary videos, maybe some funny moment videos, even just explaining some characters as well and what I see in the lower ranks. Obviously not being a great player myself, just trying to get myself out into Platinum. I'm gonna do a lot of content kind of, around people like us that, might not be the best, might not be the worst, but just some tips and tricks along the way, some gameplay, things I even find myself reviewing my own VODs, what I could have done better, watching some higher ranked people, and just, let's create a nice community here, guys, for all of us, just trying to get ourselves up into Platinum at the least here out of gold. And yeah, so make sure you guys like and follow, make sure you subscribe, comment down below, whatever you want. Gonna be creating some social media here in the future. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching and have a lovely day.